Hey guys, Sean with KixKote. Got a video here on Brush Boost, getting a lot of questions on how it's used and what's it for. So without Brush Boost, the application method with a paintbrush for KixKote is more of a dab motion. It's, what I had been used to seeing with you guys' videos is you guys like to pull these long glides, and with an acrylic that's necessary, but with KixKote you can certainly paint without doing that. But let me show you a difference here. So what we did was mix some sticky icky into our paint, and this is without Brush Boost. And as you can see, as I'm putting it on, it's more of a dab, right? It's not these long glide strokes. And there is a bit of a learning curve to applying the dye this way, just because you're going to have to get used to the fact that it's going to be a little thicker, but when it cures, it's going to dry down flat and give you that factory finish. So as you can see, that's what I'm doing here, just putting on light dabs and just applying the paint. So here I'm going to come in, we'll do a second coat, we'll do a third coat, dry it down, look at it. Still need a coat or two more, and that's one of the things. Without Brush Boost, you do not get as good as coverage as you could with a paintbrush in the paint system. But here I'll put on 2 more coats. As you can see, it looks great. So we're at 5 coats now. So let's move over to using Brush Boost. So we're going to take the same paint that had the sticky icky in it. We're going to add about 5 to 10% of Brush Boost into our paint. If you want to put a little more, it's okay. You can't really put too much, but you don't want to put too much. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get that mixed up. And it is ready to apply. So I'm going to come straight in, and as you're going to see when I start here, I'm going to start kind of with this same motion, and then I'm going to be able to start pulling these longer glide strokes. And that is ultimately the biggest use for Brush Boost. If this is how you're used to painting, you want to use this product. The other thing is it does give a little better coverage to the color. Doesn't add more opaqueness or anything like that to the dye, but because you're allowed to kind of pull these strokes without worrying about the paint curing too fast, it does help. So we'll dry that down. So we're at 1 coat here, so we're going to come in and do the second coat using the same kind of deal, pulling these a little bit longer strokes. And forgive me that my habit of a dab motion starts to take over here and I pull these slower strokes, but ultimately, as you can see, it is possible to pull these longer strokes, whereas without the Brush Boost, it's going to be pretty streaky. Let's feather that in just a bit. All right, and this is 2 coats, so we'll dry that down. And as you guys can see, with 2 coats with Brush Boost, we've pretty much matched the coverage that it took 5 coats without. And guys, that is what Brush Boost is for. Check it out.